What if a quiet midwinter summit on Rio's sun-kissed beaches just shook up the global game in ways we can't ignore? Welcome to BRICS 2025, where emerging powers from Brazil to India are making waves that echo across continents. This isn't just another meeting. It's a moment that could redefine who holds power worldwide. By the end, you'll understand why non-members are glued to the news, how this simple acronym grew from a financial spark into a global force, and we'll break it down easy for you. Stick with World Spark for this eye-opening journey. Let's get started and explore what is at stake. So, where did BRICS even begin? It all started in 2001 when Jim O'Neill, a sharp economist at Goldman Sachs, had a bold prediction. He said Brazil, Russia, India, and China, nicknamed BRIC, could become economic giants by 2050, thanks to China's factories, India's tech boom, Russia's oil, and Brazil's farms. Back then, it was just a theory, a guess on paper. But everything shifted in 2008 when the U.S. economy crashed hard. Big banks like Lehman Brothers failed, millions lost homes, and the world scrambled for a new plan. That crisis lit a fire under these nations, sparking early talks about teaming up. Their first Rio Summit came in 2009 in Ekaterinburg, Russia, a historic moment where they met to challenge the West's grip on global rules. Picture like a group project to rethink power. In 2010, South Africa joined the crew, bringing Africa's voice with its 50 million people and rich minerals like gold and platinum, making it BRICS. Then, by 2014, at the Fortaleza Summit in Brazil, they took a giant leap. They launched a new development bank, their own loan system to bypass IMF strictures, and a contingent reserve arrangement, a $100 billion emergency fund to support each other. This was their answer after the U.S. refused to update IMF voting rules, leaving them sidelined. BRICS grew from a crisis-born idea into a bold coalition. Let's see where it's headed. In 2025, BRICS is blowing up. The Rio Summit, held July 6th to 7th, welcomed Indonesia, Iran, Egypt, Ethiopia, and the UAE as full members, while adding Nigeria, Belarus, Bolivia, Malaysia, and Vietnam as partners. That's a massive 3.7 billion people, 46% of the world's population, and a landmass stretching from Asia to Africa. It's like a global South revolution, giving a louder voice to regions often overlooked by the West. But here's the twist. Some argue India's democracy and China's tight control might clash, raising doubts about unity. Can this huge team work together, or will it turn into a chaotic debate? What's your take on this growing powerhouse? Rio dropped a bombshell that grabbed global attention. Gaza, BRICS demanded an immediate ceasefire, and Israeli pullback to the 1967 borders, a line from history, and named East Jerusalem as Palestine's capital. They backed UNRWA with $10 million in aid to support refugees and slammed Western double standards, insisting international laws apply to everyone, not just a few. The Rio Declaration was clear. Forced displacement is illegal, not diplomacy. The U.S. fired back hard. Trump called it irresponsible, claiming it wrecks peace talks, while allies like the U.K. echoed concerns. Is this a brave stand or a risky overreach? Then came a terror showdown that lit a fuse. President Trump threatened a 10% tariff on all BRICS exports, labeling them anti-American to protect U.S. jobs. At Rio, they hit back, arguing these tariffs are coercion, not trade, and push for Fair World Trade Organization, WTO, rules to stabilize the economy. Stocks dipped 2% on the news, with traders nervous about a global ripple effect. The United States doubled down, branding BRICS economic adversaries and hinting at a long trade war. Is this a fair move to shield workers or a power grab to keep dominance? The world's holding its breath. Rio stirred up currency chatter that's got everyone asking a big question. Can these nations survive without the U.S. dollar? There's a rumor, not official yet, of a are 5 digital currency backed by gold, using rand, rupee, renminbi, real, and ruble. Think of it like a team currency to trade without the dollar. The USD dominates 88% of global trades and 58% of reserves, giving the US power, like cheap loans and sanctions. BRICS want to break free, with some trying local deals, like China and Russia's ruble yuan trades for oil and gas. There are 5 ideas shook Wall Street, with the U.S. Treasury warning of severe disruption. But it's not that simple. Many of these nations owe big money, $1.4 trillion in debt service this year, much to the U.S. World Bank or IMF paid in USD. High interest, up to 4 times U.S. rates, squeezes budgets, with $487 billion paid in 2023 alone, cutting funds for schools or hospitals. Could they default? Legally, yes, during crises, but it risks isolation from global loans. The IMF pushes austerity, spending cuts, higher taxes, which stall growth, like Sri Lanka's 2022 crash. Pause. What do you think? Can they ditch the dollar in debt, or are they locked in? Indonesia's full membership, with Vietnam as a partner, plus the partner tier, Nigeria, Belarus, Bolivia, Malaysia, shows nations playing it smart. They're not ditching the West, but balancing with BRICS for new options. The new development bank's $500 million loan for Brazil's roads and $300 million for Ethiopia's farms are big draws, offering cash and leverage. Is this a clever strategy to spread influence or a risky bet that could backfire? You tell me. But unity isn't a sure thing. Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin skipped Rio. Maybe Putin's ICC warrant or Xi's pack schedule kept them away. India and China's border spat along the Himalayas. Plus their different Ukraine views. India neutral, China supportive. Show deep cracks. BRICS leaders say this debate proves their strength, a contrast to the West's uniform alliances. Yet, Western media cries fragmentation, pointing to these absences as a red flag. Is this a growing pain on the road to maturity or a fatal flaw? What's your call? So, is BRICS the real deal we should bet on? It kicked off in 2008's economic mess when the world needed change, grew through summits, and now in 2025, it's making bold moves. Gaza demands, terror fights, currency hints. But Rio's absences and internal rifts raise big questions. Can this mix of nations, with 37% of global GDP and the NDB's $32 billion in loans, challenge the dollar's 88% trade grip or build a military pact? Some dream of a new world order led by the global south. Others see a fragile group strained by differences. The U.S. pushes back, calling a threat, especially with that of 5 talk. The debt issue adds pressure, $235 trillion globally, with $31 trillion from developing nations, much in USD. Could they survive without it? Maybe, with local trades and new lenders like China's $47.5 trillion market. But the IMF's austerity traps, $96.2 billion owed by poorest nations, make it hard. A collective default might force a debt workout, like the G20's common framework. Yet the U.S. veto in the WB/IMF blocks easy fixes. Looking ahead, the 2026 Rio Summit plans AI rules to tame tech giants like Google, $1 billion in green tech loans for solar, and more currency talks to test their 5 idea. They want a global South Davos to rival Western forums. Will it lead or stumble under debt and division? Pause. Where do you see this global chess game heading? Drop your bet below. Subscribe, share, and catch our next dive into the teaser topic next week. Stay sharp with World Spark.